Hey everybody, you know the drill. Biweekly Contest 12 starts in 15 seconds. I'm turning off my microphone and then I will add post-contest commentary over the recording. Signing out. And signing in. 3, 2, 1. And I was confused first where to see problems, where I can find them, but they are right here. It's good to open all of them, not to wait later for them to load. I can have 4 tabs, why not? The first problem has some array in the input and a process described. Simultaneously for every element, if it's smaller than both neighbors, then increase it by 1. If bigger than 2 neighbors, then decrease by 1. And constraints are very small. So I decided to just repeat this process. While something happens, repeat the process again and again and again. If constraints were bigger, like values up to 1 billion, then I would start to think maybe the answer is some average value, something like that. But here I assumed it's just an easy problem, so I should simulate. I don't know right now if it's possible to do something smarter here. So yeah, while true, bool any is my flag that will know whether I should stop or not. I create a new vector b and increase it by 1 or decrease. Then a is equal b, return a. I need to create that. Oh yeah, I need to mark any as true if something changed. And if not any, then break. And there is a small mistake in this code. You can stop now and try to find it. But past Camille will see in a moment that something is wrong because I got an incorrect attempt here. So that was fast, but not a good start. Because it adds plus 5 minutes penalty. I didn't bother to check in the second sample because I thought, what can be wrong there? The second problem is quite hard to understand. We need to handle the leaderboard, and the score of some player increases. We need to return the sum of scores of top k players and reset score of some player. I think all of that could be done with big limits, but again, limits were very small. And here, while simultaneously thinking just a little bit about the second problem, I jumped back to the first problem, array transformation. I saw wrong answer. I see puzzled. You can look at my face. And here's a stupid mistake. Instead of we should exclude first and last element, and instead of iterating elements from 1 to n minus 2, I did it from 1 to smaller than n minus 2, so from 1 to n minus 3. I didn't check second to last element. And only I was, unlucky that it worked for the first sample. And the second problem, design the leaderboard. There should be some smart solution with heaps or sets. In C++, it's easy to use some set here. Maybe like a map from player to his score. And if something changes, then also in ordered set, we change this value. And keep track of top k, something like that. I think I heard a similar problem before. But I saw that constraints are small, so I will just go with quadratic solution, where I store all the scores, and if I'm asked for top k, I just sort everything. Where I decided not to have quadratic complexity, not to have like n square log, to just have n square. Instead of sorting, I used function nth element in C++ to find top k elements in complexity, in linear complexity of n, where n is the size of everything. I used a constant 10,123, which is bigger than 10,000 given in the problem. Top k should gather top k scores. I think I'm trying to remember, the past Camille tries to remember what is the implementation of nth element. So nth element of TMP begin. Now it should be TMP begin plus index, not this. It is a bit different. Okay, the order is different. Plus this would, here I try to find smallest k elements. I'm going for biggest k. I think I will go with Yeah, this is a bit better because that should be second. I created a variable which that is 1023 minus k. So this is that many smallest elements I need. Now nth element splits the sequence into two, kind of, like smaller numbers and bigger ones. The last k elements will be biggest ones. So I can just iterate over that. I didn't do well in this contest. I made a lot of typos and small mistakes. Here I have a new mistake. You can try to find it. Plus this code doesn't compile. Again, you can pause the video and try to find it yourself. I'm now looking at constraints to make sure that this is so stupid problem. M is not declared because I started by thinking I will have a map. Instead, I just used a vector. And map I usually call M. What isn't the best naming convention, but well, it's obvious for me that it's a map. I'm again reading the problem while waiting for results. I get all nulls, what confused me for a moment, but null means a query that isn't find top, just some void query. But zeros are suspicious. I'm looking for nth element implementation to make sure I'm correct here, but this is not the mistake. Nth element is fine. It is allowed to Google C++ reference during the contest, by the way. Actually, it's allowed to do whatever, I think. Even looking for a solution in some forum is allowed. I wanted to check if everything is all right logic-wise and to, for a moment, sort instead of use nth element. But then I saw, I've used scores instead of TMP. Well, TMP is that kind of sorted sequence. So this is why the scores were 0. I submitted there without waiting for result. And here the problem is just 3 diameter. That is extremely standard. And it anyway took me a lot of time to implement. There should be no thinking here. And I think it should take me 1 minute to implement something like that. Not 2 minutes. This passed. I didn't understand if things are automatically checked. So I was still confused and spent 10 seconds trying to understand if I have a correct output for the sample test. Experience with a platform helps, because still here I waste some seconds on stuff like that. Yeah, I have a global vector of vectors for adjacency list, the list of neighbors. I usually call it edges, but edges was already taken, but I think from the input, so I called it W, because I used to name edges W, because in Polish the first letter is W of word wierzchołki, or maybe vector. I think it came from the fact that vector is called vector, which the first letter is W in Polish. Yeah. So best tries to find the furthest vertex, a pair, distance and vertex. And then I need to run it from any vertex, from vertex 0. Then run it DFS again from the furthest vertex from 0. This is algorithm for diameter of a tree. From that vertex with parent -1 and distance 0, return best first. The previous problem was accepted. Without waiting for verdict for sample test in 3 diameter, I started reading this one. The fourth and last problem, palindrome removal. Again, I don't need headphones. I don't know why I wear. At the very beginning, I needed to synchronize with the past video. But at least it's obvious for you that I'm not the same Kamil. I missed the amount. It's runtime error for sample test, so it doesn't count as +5 minutes in the leaderboard. And the issue is that runtime error here and with information stack overflow means that my DFS is infinite. And yeah, now it works. I considered for a moment whether I should copy the second sample to check it, but Well, it's 3 diameter. If I want to win the contest, I need to implement something like that correctly without testing too much. And for the last problem, the only thing that I wrote you can see here. It's just this thing. Don't worry about the other side of the paper, which basically means that, I don't know, there are some palindromes and I can like remove this thing from the inside. I guess there will be some forum discussion in the forum, or do they post editorials, problem analysis after the contest? They should. I quickly took a look to see that 3 diameter passed, and here with so small constraints, like only 100 and small numbers that I didn't consider at all actually, it looks like DP, and it will be DP on intervals because we can remove interval. Some processes that can remove something inside a sequence and then things are glued together, they are usually DP on intervals. DP of ij should mean, of course, what is the minimum possible number of moves in order to get rid of interval from L to R. You need to iterate in some special way from smallest to biggest, because bigger interval will use values already computed for smaller intervals. I think that I made some unnecessary transitions there. Well, I wanted to be safe. DP of LR, if L is equal R, if this is interval of size 1, then you just remove one element. If the length is 2, L plus 1 is equal R, then it's 2, unless the character is the same. Then you can just make one move to remove a palindrome. Then DP of LR is, what can it be? We can remove first and last character, that is, do whatever you would do for interval shorter by 2, from L plus 1 to R minus 1. And then in particular, there will be some palindromes that we remove, including the last palindrome to remove. And together with that, along with that interval, the last palindrome to remove, I could also take the very first and last character of interval LR and also remove it. It will be the last removal in segment L to R. So if AL is equal AR, then dp of LR is just dp of L plus 1 R minus 1. Plus what I can do is remove first character and then some interval remains, remove last character and then interval L to R minus 1 remains. I created a helper function mini, not to repeat my dplr. And also I can get rid of some interval on the left and then some interval on the right. It's also allowed. For example, it would happen for input AAAAA, BBBBB. Then it's 2 moves. And that's it in this problem. I wasn't sure about it. It looked quite easy. I thought that maybe I'm missing some case, so I decided not only to add the second sample, but also to check my old transitions. I created one bigger test where everything is one big palindrome, and the other one where it's a palindrome plus some smaller palindrome inside. So we can see here 3, 4, 4, 3, which is smaller palindrome that should be removed first. And then after that, we will remain with 1, 2, 6, 7, 6 to 1. The sample output is correct. I'm submitting, and yeah, I'm leaving you with past Kamil. Bye. One, two, three. Okay, you should hear me. I did one mistake in the first problem, but well, I'm not the only one with a mistake. I see that Lewin also did one in the last one. So maybe in a few minutes I should see if I won or not. My time is 13:39 plus 5 minutes for an incorrect attempt. Okay, So I didn't like the problems at all. What was that? Here, arrow transformation. For a moment I thought that maybe there is something smart with first and last element. Like sometimes, because the first and last element, they don't change. So should I do something smart about them? Maybe if they are equal, then this is the answer. Otherwise, there is no solution, something like that. The process never stops. But constraints were small, so it was optimal to simulate the problem, to simulate the process. Then in second problem, there are some different strange constraints, like up to 100, here up to 1000. I just implemented quadratic solution, but I guess I can do it in much better complexity, because I can store a set of top 2k elements, something like that. Generally, I could store a set or a multiset in C++. In Python, it would be harder. So that's stupid. Then what do we have? The problem that I saw 1,000 times, 3 diameter, and DP that was fine, I guess. So not a good contest, LeetCode. Sorry. Why Lewin doesn't have this problem? Oh, because he tries to solve it smartly, instead of just implementing whatever. Can I see my running time? My submissions? Design a leaderboard. I guess I can see it after the contest. Okay. And I didn't win. There was somebody who solved everything without incorrect submissions. What did I do here? Oh, I didn't iterate correctly for all elements except for first and last. I wrote smaller than n-2 instead of smaller than n-1, or smaller equal n-2. So with those fast, easy contests, it's the thing, you need to risk a little bit. Sadly, there are 3 more minutes for people to to get better time than me. It's now what, 17? I had times a bit smaller than 19. So in 2 minutes I should see what place I have. Then nobody can, get higher. But I was almost there. I was the first to finish by 2 minutes. So all those guys here without incorrect attempts can still be higher. What are my times compared to this other guy? Same. Here I took much less on the second question because I didn't try to solve it. Then he was much faster in third. Why is that? I took a lot of time in trees. Maybe because... Oh, I had some incorrect attempt there. I mean, it failed on the sample test because I didn't implement DFS correctly. I passed parent, and then I was the same time here. So I just won by... I had faster time because I didn't care to solve second problem normally. The choice of problems was bad. Still second. I think some more seconds. Do they have exact time? They don't. I will finish not stream. I will finish the recording in 1 minute after I know my place. I wonder how to name the video on YouTube. Almost winning? Not winning? Biweekly LeetCode Contest. I will try to add commentary now and edit the video before the LeetCode Contest ends, so that I could upload just after it ends. It's 19 minutes, and let's give a few more seconds. Oh, what happened? I wasn't first, and I am. How is that possible? No, I'm again on the second place. It just the leaderboard refreshes, I guess. No, for a moment I thought that I won. One thing that I did better than last time, like 2 weeks ago, was that I already registered for a contest. So, hooray for me. Yep, I guess I'm officially second. Congratulations to John Crum for winning and Lewin for third place. That was a close match here. And then that's it. The last problem was fine, but quite standard. The other ones were not good. If you're watching this on YouTube, I guess there's no other way, then please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, if you want more content like this, and see you in the next video. Bye! It's now halfway through the contest and I still have some bugs in the leaderboard, I guess, because I see myself in the first place, but then in the first row I see myself to have the second rank. So just in case I indeed won, then hooray, I'm happy. I won the LeetCode contest and it's my second one. 2 weeks ago I competed and I got like 30th place because I made a few incorrect attempts. But I saw John Crum in the first place. Unless he was disqualified or something like that, I don't understand what is there. Plus, I remember that last time I said that I should add a flag to my nickname. I didn't choose a country. It should be Poland. Okay, after the contest you can go to a contest page to see who is in the first spot. So that should be then more clear. Refreshing here does nothing. I don't know.